Hello guys, Hybrid here from Hell Satan Gaming, and I'm here today to finally explain to you what Hybrid Satanism is. I'm in the mood for talking about Satanism today, because I just went downstairs and Songs of Praise was on. Great. So, Hybrid Satanism. Hybrid Satanism is my way of following Satanism. And it consists of two or more sectors and different teachings of Satanism. So for me, it's LaVeyan Satanism, the original, and spiritual Satanism. Now I have to admit, my knowledge isn't that high, but I know enough to be considered an actual Satanist. Letting that out in the open there. So basically, when you're thinking about hybrid Satanism, it's basically looking at being your own individual priest of your own Satanism. It's a bit weird. I thought, why the hell not? Because Satanism stresses the fact that you should be individual, and I just sort of went with that, and then I thought, well, if we're being individual and we keep following like the Church of Satan, which is LaVeyan Satanism, and keep following the teachings there, we're not being individual. And I like some of the teachings that happen in some of the other sectors of Satanism. So I thought, why the hell not combine them both? See the pun there? Why the hell? But there's one thing I've got to get straight. With hybrid Satanism, the only things that stay the same is the 9 satanic statements, the 11 rules of Earth, and the 9 satanic sins, and they're from the Satanic Bible. I shall read to you now the 9 satanic statements. I will also link in the description where you can go to find these. Number 1. Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. Number 2. Satan represents vital existence instead of spiritual pipe dreams. Number 3. Satan represents undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit. Hypocritical? There we go, hypocritical. 4. Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. 5. Satan represents vengeance instead of turning the other cheek. 6. Satan represents responsibility to the responsible instead of concern for psychic vampires. Number 7. Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on all fours, who, because of our divine, spiritual and intellectual development, has become the most vicious animal of all. Number 8. Satan represents all of the so-called sins, as they all lead to physical, mental or emotional gratification. And number 9. Satan has been the best friend of the church because he's kept them in business for all these years. So that's the 9 statements. And it's basically everything you need to know when you first start in any form of Satanism. Out of all of them, number 8, Satan represents all the so-called sins, as they all lead to physical, mental or emotional gratification. Right there, I think out of all of them, that one you focus on the most, because Satanism is based around the so-called sins of Christianity, being restricting and not making you live, so to speak. So pay attention to that one. So the 9 satanic statements, they will stay no matter what. That's all hybrid Satanism. I said that completely wrong. Out of all of the changes in hybrid Satanism, only the 9 satanic statements, the 11 rules, and the 9 satanic sins will stay the same. Say the same, stay the same. So there goes that lot. Okay, next page. The 11 Satanic Rules of the Earth. Number 1. Do not give opinions or advice unless you are asked. 2. Do not tell your troubles to others unless you are sure they want to hear them. 3. When in another's lair or house, show him respect, or else do not go there. Number 4. If a guest is in your lair or house and annoys you, treat him cruelly and without mercy. Number 5. Do not make sexual advances unless you are given the mating signal. Number 6. Do not take that which does not belong to you unless it is a burden to the other person and he cries out to be relieved. Not relived. God, I can't read. Number 7. Acknowledge the power of magic. If you have employed it successfully to obtain your desires. Yep, I said that right. If you deny the power of magic after having called upon it with success, you will lose all you have obtained. Number 8. Do not complain about anything to which you need not subject yourself. Number 9. Do not harm little children. Number 10. Do not kill non-human animals unless you are attacked or for your food. And finally, number 11. When walking in open territory, bother no one. If someone bothers you, ask him or her to stop. If he does not stop, destroy him. I wish I could read a little better because I messed up like 3, 4 and 7. So there you go, there's the 11 rules, which are pretty much the biggest and most important thing. Now we're on to the 9 satanic sins. Stupidity. Number 1. I won't read all the writing, I'll leave that up to you, there's a heck of a lot to read. Number 2 is pretentiousness. Number 3 is solipsism. Solipsism. There we go. Number 4, self-deceit. Number 5, herd conformity. Number 6, lack of perspective. Number 7, forgetfulness of past orthodoxies. 8, counterproductive pride, and 9, lack of aesthetics. So that's what you got to really focus on, and out of everything they don't change, because you do have free will to change them, but when it comes to hybrid Satanism, they stay the same. And something that you can't change, even no matter how much you try, is the satanic symbols, from the serpent, which is obviously the snake, which is the most sacred. The pentagram pointing down, not pointing up, that's wrong. The equal armed iron cross. Ankhs. What else is there? There's the devil's pitchfork. 666. The skull and bones. The black sun. The inverted cross. There's been a lot of stuff said about the inverted cross, as in like it used to be the symbol for the older pope, but now it's been changed and it is basically the symbol for Satanism. I think in order it would go the pentagram, then the cross, then the snake, now in our culture anyway. Then we've got to think about our enemies. Now this varies between what you've chosen as your hybrid sort of collection of prophecies and religions, I suppose you could say, because not all of Satanism's a religion. Levian Satanism isn't a religion. It's more of a prophecy, more of a way of life. But then spiritual Satanism, you actually do believe in Satan as an entity, which means you're being controlled by Satan and you're under Satan, which makes my form of hybrid Satanism a bit difficult, but I'll move on to that in a bit. So exposing Christianity, we've got to think about everything they've done, all the lies they've made, all the head-turning all sorts. It's really hard to explain, but you know, Christianity is a bringer of all evil. In fact, pretty much all religion is. But you know, out of everything, Satanism is the true way, and well, that's just plain to see, because we don't make lies and we don't contradict our own teachings, like something in the Bible. It's like said, treat others how you wish to be treated, and yet Christians are sexist, racist, and homophobic. But you know, I mean, it's like Christianity is becoming child's play now, and that seems to be only for the Pope. Yeah, I went there. Right, let's get down to my difficult side, because personally, I wouldn't want to worship, sorry, not worship, I'm getting mixed up with what I'm going to say next, follow Satanism in any other way other than with the collection of the two most popular ways, and that's spiritual and Levian. But it makes it difficult because Levian's talking about worshipping yourself as your own god, and that the fact that you shouldn't be weak enough to be led by an entity or a spiritual guider like God or Satan, but you're strong enough to lead yourself. It's about self confidence, and I love that, and it's fantastic. But then when we're looking at spiritual Satanism, you actually do believe in Satan. But I've taken away that, because I don't follow God and I don't follow Satan, but I've gone for the spiritual Satan side of fighting Christianity and becoming an antichrist, and where you are a true enemy and fighter against Christianity. So that's one bit from spiritual Satanism I've taken away to make up my hybrid Satanism of Levian and spiritual. You guys could go for the devil worshipping side of Satanism, and that's completely different to spiritual Satanism. I mean, devil worshipping is the really evil side. Like, it's hard to say that it's the horrible fake side, because it's the Satanism of the culture that's been depicted by the media. It's the sacrifices, it's the violence, it's the blood, it's the swearing, all of that, you know. I mean, you could have that with Levian Satanism, but you could contradict yourself incredibly, so you got to think. There's one page here, I think it's from Joy of Satan, which is the spiritual Satanism site. Church of Satan's the Levian Satanism site. From this Joy of Satan site, it says Kids and Teens for Satan. And it's basically saying that it's positive to follow Satanism because it's helping you become a more confident, self-reliant person. But then it goes on to saying, like, summoning demons and stuff, which I don't follow. But yeah, so there's a little brief insight and complete insight of hybrid Satanism and what it means to me. But you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I shall speak to you soon. What's coming up next? There's a few games I've got planned, but I won't tell you anything. Haha. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hail Satan. See you later, guys. Bye. Subscribe.